Okay, so I've put a lot of thought into this, and I have a gift for you. If I said that to you, what kinds of things would come to your mind? I imagine it might be some of your favorite things that you love to receive. I am celebrating my 30th birthday this week, and when I think about gifts right now, I'm thinking about things that I would love to receive. Daily Dosers, my name is Amber Hofland. I'm the Vista Communications Coordinator, and today we're going to talk about a beautiful gift that God has given His church. As we're looking this week at the family of God, I want to encourage you, family, whether you are married or single, we have something to receive from this gift. In 1 Corinthians 7, Paul is writing to the church about marriage. We know that Paul is not married, and he writes this in verse 6. I say this as a concession, not as a command. I wish that all of you were as I am, single. But each of you has your own gift from God. One has this gift, another has that. Can I just point out something kind of silly, obvious about this? God likes singleness. He likes it. It's a good gift that He made. I think some of us don't always like singleness. If I'm being honest, guys, I'm single, and sometimes singleness feels like a gift that I want to exchange. I want to give it back and trade it for a different one. We think of gifts as the gift that God gave me, like this is my gift from God. But when Scripture talks about gifts, the gifts are not for you. They're for the church. If you have the gift of teaching, you give teaching to the church. If hospitality, you give hospitality to the church. You give wisdom to the church. Whatever your gift is, it's what you give to the church. So if singleness is a gift, you give singleness to the church if you're single. Can I tell you what singles give to the church? Just really quickly, 3 things. Singleness points towards the church as the true and eternal family institution of God, as opposed to the biological family. In heaven, in the new order, all relationships will go in and through Christ. So we will relate to each other based on how we relate to Christ. We will be brothers and sisters. In the Old Testament, the command was be fruitful and multiply. In the New Testament, the command is go and make disciples in my name. Go and make sons and daughters of the King. The family of God is the church. Secondly, singleness is a sign of God's future. In heaven, there will be no marriage. Jesus tells us this in Luke 20. Every person will be single in heaven. So singleness points towards the order that's coming. If you're single, you're modeling heaven now. We think of marriage as the sacred sanction that God created because He did, and it's beautiful and it's good, but it's not the eternal vision that He has for us. In eternity, the institution is the family of God, brothers and sisters, making up the church, being united with our bridegroom, Christ. Thirdly, singleness reminds us our hope and trust is in Jesus. I am not depending on a husband for security or fulfillment or anything. I'm solely trusting in Jesus. Singleness directs our attention to the proper place of our trust. If you are single, what would it look like for you to show up in your singleness like that? Like, God, you have given me a unique position to show your family something about your heart and your vision for eternity. And if you're married, what would it look like to look at our single friends like you have something to teach me? I have something to learn from you about this Christ. So many times I think we see our married friends teaching our single friends, like, when you're married someday, you're going to know something about this. But what would it look like for us to know when we are all single again someday in heaven? We will know something about that unity and that dependence on Christ because of our single brothers and sisters. Family, whether we are married or single, our destination is the same. We are all making our way towards Jesus. And when we get to heaven, we're going to stand side by side, brothers and sisters, in the church, the family of God, united with our bridegroom, Christ. I can't wait. Thanks, Dosers.